There's two hooks. So smooth here from Clancy Jr. Here's a big squeeze off of Clancy.
This could be it. Sean Clancy with a big squeeze. And there's the submission.
Sean Clancy.
I don't know how to start this. Guys, we're joined by Sean Clancy, who is 4 weeks out from his Cage Warriors headline event at the Braehead Arena. I really appreciate the time, man. I know you've literally just finished training and then you've came all the way down here to hang about with the old Mat boys. So, Sean, how has this camp been?
It's been great, mate. It's been very, very, very good. The last couple of camps, there's just been something going on, whereas this is the first one where I've actually kind of
nice and
just
smooth.
been allowed, smooth, just been allowed to go full steam ahead. Like the first one in Glasgow, I just became a dad, so no sleep. Exactly. The one after that, again, still kind of recovering from all that, just loads of injuries, wear and tear and stuff, lack of sleep. The one after that was a week's notice, whereas this one,
they also messed you about that last one as well, didn't they?
Yeah. The last one, I'd only found out that I was fighting like literally a week before I was fighting. It was, they basically said by Friday morning, if we've not got you anybody, we'll just call it a day. Thursday night, so the very last moment, they were like, right, we've got you somebody.
Am I right in saying we're in New York?
Yeah.
We're in New York and you're like, right, I'm just going to have, because there's all this food, there's all this food going, and you're like, I'm going to have something. And then just as you decide to have something, they then pull the, right, it's game day.
I'd bought like 3 cheesecakes and I was like, right, tomorrow I'm going to finally be able to have a New York pizza. And they're just like, fuck you. Oh.
I remember going out for dinner with you that night. Was
honestly,
it the Friday night after we made weight? And Lee, our nutritionist there, Lee Rickards for Boxing Science, and he basically ordered for you. He's like, no, you can carry this. And you could just see your heart sink.
I know.
You and Stephen won it because he had a fight as well.
He had a fight as well. And they ended up ordering me like, I fucking, see, because we weren't taking the piss. So my weight was still good. It was good that Lee was there because I would have taken the piss if Lee was not there. But the day I found out, when we went to dinner, I literally had to order like just a big bowl of Brussels sprouts, man. And I've just sat and scranned a big bowl of Brussels sprouts. And I don't even like Brussels sprouts. I was just starving.
So you had to get them done.
Aye. It was obviously bittersweet because at the same time you're like, oh, yes, I've got a fight. But I'm in New York and I want to fucking eat. So like, I can't sit there and act like I wasn't scunner at the fact that I couldn't eat. But look at how it turned out. So
went well. Happy with that fight? Happy with how it went?
That fight,
Great finish as well.
It feels like I got a wee bit of weight took off my shoulders because you know what I'm like I'm very well rounded. I spend a lot of time trying to like make sure I'm good everywhere. So not having that like finish on the feet was always something that kind of felt like it was lingering over me. And now that I've got that out the way, I don't really feel that pressure anymore. So I feel like I can just kind of go out and just be like completely yourself. Who I am. Do you know what I'm saying? Just like completely open up. So it feels good. It feels like a little bit of a weight's been lifted off.
Have you changed anything with this camp? Is there anything that you've brought in or taken out for previous camps?
I think just the fact you say nothing's in your way this time, that's probably massive.
Nothing's been in my way. I feel like I can be not unapologetically me, but just completely me, if you know what I'm trying to say. There's less like encumbering, if you know what I'm trying to say. I feel more free, for lack of a better phrase.
I could be massively missing the point here, but something has changed in you. I noticed there's a switch in your attitude, and you're more ruthless. And I don't think it's a nastiness thing where you're like you're wanting to hurt, but as you're saying, it's unapologetic. There, when it's coming to these moments in the gym, you're not giving me any space. You're absolutely smashing me, and I think it's the best way to say it is there's a switch where you're more aggressive, you're more looking to finish absolutely everything you've got.
Aye, that's something I've put more of an emphasis on recently because I know this guy's going to come and try and just hug me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like he's just going to come and he's just going to try and like.
And they're hard people to put away.
Exactly. See somebody that don't want to fight. So my like game plan here is just to be as nasty as I can. Just get in this cunt's face and just do him. Like just get him for the very get-go. And he's a very similar kind of stylistic matchup to the last guy I fought, so it's almost like I can pick up for where I left off. I think that's kind of what separates me from a lot of guys in that weight class is just that nastiness. Like I'm a hyper finisher. So even when you look at like a lot of the other like up and coming guys at welterweight and stuff like that, like there's a guy that just fought my last opponent there, and style of fight we both bring to that table is completely different. So it's something that I'm trying to constantly improve on. I've got the skill set, I've got the weaponry. It's just about now trying to be as violent as I possibly can with that weaponry. And the only thing that I can really think to do that is to kind of change my mentality, if you know what I mean. But yeah, no, it seems to be something that's came quite naturally. Like I try and not be very competitive outside of camp, because you know what it's like yourself. Whenever you get super competitive, it just brings on injuries and stuff like that. You're just asking to wear yourself down.
It's hard work being that person all the time as well.
Exactly, and you're not really working on things. You're not experimenting and stuff like that. Whereas the closer I get to camp, the more I'm trying and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's probably right, to be honest.
Definitely imposing your will. You know, even if it's not with me and I'm watching you going with people, you're winning every second, every round, and I think it's a good way to be.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
From this, we've now got a couple of wins after you secure this win in Glasgow, headlining it. What's next for you?
Next, I can't see it being anything else other than a title after this fight. It would be weird. It'd be weird if it was, because I've finished everyone. Like, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I have finished everyone, and I've finished everyone in ways that they've never been finished before. I've finished good guys. I've finished undefeated guys as well. Like, all these people are just like people with, like, that last guy had 5 times the record I had, and nobody's knocked him out.
He's a tough fighter.
Exactly.
There can be no doubts about this last opponent. He was a very, very tough, durable
100%.
guy, and known for being that. Like, even, and this is funny, I remember saying to Paul before this last fight, I was like, I think I maybe even said it on the podcast, I'm like, there's a lot of pressure getting put on Sean, and we're forgetting he's a young guy. He's got a small child in the house. It's coming from everywhere. I think we need to be careful not to heap it on him, because that if something was to go wrong, because we all know the fight game, fucking anything can happen. But you've dealt with it unbelievably maturely, and then have gone on after fights to cut incredible promos. Like, even now, I'm at the stage where I'm like, fuck, whatever he's doing, just keep doing it, because he's getting it right every time. You're getting it right on the microphone, you're getting it right in the cage, you're clearly getting it right in the gym, you're getting it right across the board. All the boxes are getting ticked, and you're now building up so much momentum. How do Cage Warriors turn around and go not go, this is the guy? Like, I'm biased because obviously I know you, like, you've been away on holiday with you, no holiday, but been abroad with you, been in the gym with you. I like you and I want you to do well, but see, objectively, how does anyone looking in not go, this is clearly the guy? Like, you're 21 still, 22 now. Fucking hell, like, what box are you not ticking? And I think these out of the cage promos are just as important, and you're smashing them as well. You're saying the right things, like your clips are going viral, your finishes are going viral. What more do you need to do? And you're still trying to improve upon that, which is, I think a lot of guys would sit back and they would just enjoy that limelight, and you're still trying to build on it, which is, I don't think many people would do that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So,
thank you very much.
For me, it's a dead cert. Like, how can you not be going for a title? But I am obviously biased.
The title is in Ireland, am I right? And it's against
the title fight's 2 weeks
Justin
after
Burlington.
that fight,
So then that's, I imagine they're going to, Cage Warriors will bring you over. That's like,
I'm hoping they do. I was actually going to ask them,
ideal scenario, they bring you over, you sit at cage side, the fight runs, and then it would make sense to bring you in and promote that fight there and then and build it massively. Because if they don't, I think it would massively miss a trick. Not only that, you're going to have places like UFC sniffing about you. Other organisations are going to be coming in and looking for you.
110%.
I don't doubt now UFC are already aware of you. They've got to be. Like, the name, these guys are always, they're everywhere looking for the next guy. They're always looking to build the next guy. And I think now we've reached this, and you grew up, and we talked about it before, the young guys like yourself who grew up watching YouTube and stuff like that. YouTube didn't even exist till we were adult men. You know what's good and what isn't good. And is that playing into the stuff you're producing? Not so much producing these moments on the mic. Are you considering them? Are you thinking about them before? Or is this just, you're sitting down and it's just flowing? Or are you working on it?
I don't work on it. It's something that thankfully comes quite naturally to me. I think we spoke about this, about something similar last time, whereas, like, I struggle with kind of tight-knit social interactions, but as soon as for some reason you put me on a mic, I seem to just glow.
Talking about yourself, you know that person so well.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know fighting.
I've seen like so many people like talk and stuff like that. I can kind of like, I feel like I've got a bit of a good grasp on like what works and what doesn't. Like you see a lot of these new guys and stuff like that are just trying to almost read off a script. Like they know what works, so they're going to try and copy that. And then in doing that, they sound ingenuine. Like it just, I don't know, some people just try too hard, I think. And I think the best thing that you can do is just try and be yourself. Sounds cliche, but I think it honestly is the best thing you can do. And if it works, good. If it doesn't work, forcing it's not really going to help either. So I don't think there's any option, to be honest.
And there's no doubt authenticity rips out of you.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that.
That's crucial.
Yeah, 100%.
So as Ross was saying there, he's saying obviously the UFC. Have you had any interaction with these guys? Obviously you're managed by someone who's highly thought in the UK scene, and Graham Boylan, and he's got a lot of guys from Cage Warriors to the UFC. Is it something, has these conversations happened?
So yeah, they were actually like just there. I think it was February or something like that. They started filming for the Ultimate Fighter, and they wanted me to do an interview with them. So we done an interview with them, and it was 2 days before that last fight. I ended up doing my interview. Unfortunately, I never ended up getting through. I don't know why, but I ended up not getting through. Again, it's probably for the best as well, because right after that fight, I had a bit of a niggle. So I was still kind of recovering round about that time there. So everything happens for a reason. I'm a genuine, strong believer in that. So yeah, they know who I am. I know that they know who I am because I've done an interview with them. So that doing stuff like this is pretty cool. And it's cool to see that during the interview, the nerves didn't really get the better of me either. It was something that I didn't really see the gravity of until it was already over. I think that's something that I value as well. I don't really think about things like, for instance, I'm headlining Glasgow, and it's not something that that's really like, the hat's not dropped. It feels the same as any other fight. I'm thankful for the opportunity, and I know the ramifications and stuff like that. But as far as the task, it remains the same. The only difference is now I'm doing it at the very end of the night. I'm doing it at 9:30 instead of 6:30.
Last man to walk.
Exactly. So it's the exact, but it's the exact same thing. The only difference would be if somebody else is the main event. The only difference would be somebody's doing it after me. But the actual task remains the same.
And a familiar walkout as well.
So
a familiar
exactly,
walkout.
yeah, exactly. I've done it. This will be my third time doing it. So yeah, I'm very familiar with it now. I'm thankful that I'm one of these people that just doesn't seem to overthink things. So yeah, I get it afterwards. Don't get me wrong, I'll get it afterwards, and then I'll sit there and be like, I just want a main event. But like right before it, up until then, I don't really see. Maybe it's like something I do on purpose. I'm not quite sure, but it's something I don't deep, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like the thing with back to the Ultimate Fighter thing, I didn't really deep it because I didn't want, just in case I went there, I didn't want the pressure getting to me. And I think it's something that seems to be working. So,
Who was the coaches for that one?
I'm not actually sure yet, mate. Oh, is it not Paddy Pimlet and Mike Arnold? I don't know. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. I've heard that that's the case.
I need to beep that.
I thought they'd said somebody.
It might just be because we're in the circuit, we know.
Aye. Well, we'll
check first. We'll check first.
Was that the coaches for Ultimate Fighter for this year? It's Chael DC.
Chael and who?
DC.
I thought that
That's
as well.
the weirdest thing. Oh, Chael and DC, you're right. Yeah. Aye, fair enough. Right, well, I fucked that then.
Two you said would have been cool though.
Yeah. Chael and DC's a weird one. It's a super weird one.
They know like friends who back in the day.
They've got an ESPN show, and it's called Chael and the Bad Guy in it, or the Bad Guy and the Good Guy.
Bad Guy.
Good Guy. Aye. I knew it was something like that. So that kind of makes sense, and then you can then push it on their ESPN.
Of course.
Great platform for a fighter to get on. You get an instant fan base because people who watch that show will then see you, and then it then builds you up. Whereas just going in as a normal fighter, you might miss all that extra media that comes with the Ultimate Fighter. But it's one of these things, as you're saying, you're not really dwelling on it. It's not for you. It's everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
Downsides to it as well. Being away for, I think it's 6 weeks you're away for.
10 weeks.
10 weeks. And it's
so I would have had to have, there was a
no
couple
contact.
of things going on. Yeah, exactly. I'd be 10 weeks away from my daughter. injury, away from James and stuff like that. It was my daughter's birthday as well. There was just so many different things. Do you know what I mean? So again, everything happens for a reason. Looking back, I'm glad it never happened because I'm 22. There's no rush for me. It's not the same as somebody else who's trying to get in as soon as they can so that they can get in during their prime. If I was to wait another 5 years, I'd still not be in my prime. So it's
crazy to think that. You're
I'm
saying,
the exception to the rule.
Aye,
That
waiting 5 years.
That answered my next question for me, because I was going to say, is there any sort of, are you keen to get those UFC gloves? Are you keen? And it's almost, you've accepted the inevitability of it, which I think kind of, for guys like me and Paul, it's easy to see this is where you're going to end up. But I remember being 22 as well and wanting everything right now. And like you say, you've got a child now. You need money right now. You need there's lots of reasons that you also need it right now as well, that are near yourself because you're not a selfish guy. And to be able to have that long-sighted attitude of, well, it's going to happen anyway. When it does, it'll be fine. It doesn't matter. Like you say, to have given yourself this 5 years, like you could really come up against anything, and anything could happen to you in 5 years, and you still be like, but I've still got time. And I think to have that attitude is probably the reason why you're doing as well as you're doing. You know, without
I was 27 when I signed for the 20th. I was like maybe 2 weeks before my 28th birthday.
You've been in it for 9 years? That's wild. Oofed.
I know.
Long time.
it was completely different.
I know, and I thought, like, when you think about how my story went in there, I went for a beaten top 15 opponent in light heavyweight who hadn't been beaten yet, so I stopped him, and then went on 2 losses, one in Glasgow and one in Vegas, and then my career was pretty much over after that, and that would have been the end of my UFC career, and I'd have to work really hard to get back there. Whereas you're so far away from being 27, 5 years. It's
I get the
crazy to think
chill.
about that.
100%, I get the chill. There's a lot of people that are coming up like that as well now, and I think we're all helping each other. Like, you see a lot of young boys in the gym and stuff like that are kind of having that like well-polished mentality, and it's because we've got people like you in the gym, like people like that have been there and done it. Do you know what I'm, like, it's almost like you've got these young guys in the gym with these old heads, so it's the best of both worlds.
There is a real professionalism about you, Zay. And again, that's everything. I was watching your videos the other day, hitting pads with James, and James writing about going on, or something along the lines of going all the way back to basics. And you're asking questions, am I getting this right? He's correcting, showing you things, and then you're doing it correctly. On top of that, the standard of the social media, again, I keep going on about it, but for today's young athlete, it's so important. The standard of social media content is like exceptional. The drilling's exceptional, and all the training partners are on the same page. There's like a professionalism amongst us that, I don't know, it's just grown out of there, eh? And you don't see that in really any other job. Like, take away MMA, take that out of it. Where I still have a working environment. I go there and everyone hates it, mate. Nobody wants to be there. And I would imagine that's most jobs. But you've got a group of guys who are all happy to see each other, all want to see each other doing well, and are all putting out great stuff. It can't not work. And I think that's why it's translating so well once you step in the cage. I think, again, we'll get to see this again in next month. 4 weeks is so close as well. It
4 weeks
feels like
Saturday, yeah.
You're keen to just get it.
I'm one of these people that enjoys the process. I'm fortunate enough to be on still a lot of calories, so there's not that don't get me wrong, as soon as my calories get dropped again, it might be a different story, but me personally, I enjoy the process because it's almost like the last bit of normality before I need to go in there and do something I'm not, like, that's not normal. Like, even like in that holding pen, like, see when you're in like the last, like, you're sat in the changing room ready to go out, when you're sat there waiting, some people just want to get out, whereas like you almost can't get me to move. Like, I'm just sat there like as relaxed as I possibly can, because it is the last moments of normality before you literally go out there and are about to do one of the most insane things another human can do.
It's the best bit.
Yeah,
it's the best.
I actually sit and enjoy it because it's just the last wee bit of normal just before. So it almost feels extra normal. It's just so relaxed, I feel. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous, don't get me wrong. I'm very nervous, but in a weird way, there's like just this calm that comes over me, because in this very moment right now, there's no danger. I'm sat with my mates backstage in a room that's very quiet, and I'm just sitting and relaxing. So I kind of take that approach to it, even this far out. There's no point in sitting there stressing about it, sitting there getting like worried or nervous or anything like that, because it's not gonna give me any help. Right now, what's happening in this very moment is I'm sitting talking to my mates in a room that's very quiet and there's absolutely no danger. So what would be the sense in sitting there getting nervous or upset or angry, worked up, over something that's happening in 4 weeks? You know
what fighter was it we were speaking to regarding the fear bubble? The Ant Middleton book. Ant Middleton's got a book and he talks about the fear bubble. I'm not 100% sure.
I think that's what I've got this off of.
Is it? So it's a great, for anybody that's interested in it, it's Ant Middleton's first book that he released, and he speaks about not worrying about it until you get to the coal fire, until you get to the face of danger, because you just burn loads of energy. And it's smart, like 22 years old. Like I've only started learning this stuff, and I'm 37. So
it was actually Stevie Ray that sent me that. I remember Stevie Ray sent me that.
Maybe it was Stevie Ray.
Maybe it was Stevie who taught.
It was my first ever fight. He actually cornered me for it, and it was my first ever fight. And he was just sending me some texts and stuff like that. James probably told him to send me a text, but it was nice of him to send me it anyway, because it did really help, and it's something I've carried on. Again, going back to what we were talking about, these young people with old heads, and it's because we've got people in the gym like you guys that are able to like pass on this information. Like if he never told me that in my first fight, would it have stuck? Like would I even know that right now? Because how often have I heard, like I've only heard the fear bubble like really right there, and when Stevie Ray spoke about it that one time like 7 years ago now. So would I even know about it?
It's in the back of your head, but it's not an actual theory of this is what the fear bubble is. You just do it instinctively.
Exactly. So it's something that is invaluable to somebody like my career. It's something because I hate getting nervous. Like I hate it. Anything to try and avoid that feeling, like I will do, apart from just running away. But anything like that feeling was so awful to me that, and you forget, I've actually had a lot of fights now for somebody that's 22, like what is it, like 15, 16 fights or something like that. So I've done it a fair few times now. With decent activity. So I'm building off of what happened last time. Like last time I was doing this, I went in with this mentality. How did I feel? Like, and I just kind of build off of that. If you get what I mean.
With the last fight only being a week, sorry. With the last fight only being a week, was there a change? Was there anything different? Did it almost feel like you didn't have time to be? I don't want to say nervous, but you know the feeling I'm talking. Aye. Yeah. Did you not have or was it just like, right, concentrate on making weight, and then because a week is a very short, and I'm certain you were already very close to the weight. You're always in shape, but was it almost a matter of make weight and then right? We've only got 24 hours to firstly think about rehydrating and then fighting. It was almost that the process was taken away for you with the quick turnaround.
It definitely had its pros and cons and stuff like that, because as you said, like there was no really any time to get nervous or to really like, because I'd found out that they wanted me on this date like 7 weeks out, and as it gets closer and closer and closer, you're just like, this isn't happening. So you build up, like I've had 6 weeks of believing that this isn't happening, and then 1 week of having to try and hype myself up for it. So you can see I started a little bit colder than I usually do, which may have been why, you never know, but it was definitely different, because we'd obviously travelled to New York as well. So I'd went there and then I'd came back, so that's like double jet lag. So by the time I got back, I was shattered. Like you've not really got a massive emotional capacity when you're that tired and stuff like that. You're cutting weight. It's a week's notice. So no, I wasn't mega nervous for that one. I was nervous, but it was a different kind of nerves. You never feel the same kind of nerves for every single fight. But yeah, it was definitely a different one for me, because even by the time it only took really till the day of the fight for me to start getting really nervous. And then by the time I got into the arena, I was a lot less nervous. It was a very, very, very strange circumstance. I was very tired. And that's probably played a factor as well as to why I wasn't very nervous at all for that one. But I did end up I got nervous in the end up, but it just took a wee while. It took a lot longer than it usually does.
I guess it's about controlling nerves, isn't it?
Aye.
Everybody gets them, and anybody that says, we've spoken about this in the open mat before, anybody that says they don't get nerves is just lying.
100%.
Like, if you don't have nerves, you've got nothing to, if you're not worrying about it,
Then you don't
then
care.
you don't care. And if you don't care, then you're doing the wrong sport because you're going to get hurt. Going to something nice. Best moment in New York.
Best moment in New York. Oh, there was a couple. Do you know what was actually underratedly really cool? Seeing you on the press conference thing. That was super cool.
That was awesome.
very, very cool. And I didn't realise how cool that was going to be until I actually got there. The walkout was ridiculous. New York was just mad. It was just so cool. Like there was just so many different things, mate. Like
John Jones.
John Jones was heavy cool. That was super
Go
cool.
and tell the story.
Is he bigger than you thought he'd be? Because he was bigger than I thought he'd be.
No, he
See, when I
wasn't
saw
bigger
him,
than
I
I
was
thought
like,
he'd be.
the big guy.
Was it Friday after the weigh-ins?
Friday after the weigh-ins.
What happened with you and John Jones?
What happened with me and John Jones? I know me and him. So me and John Jones is coach. Aye. So me and John Jones is coach. Yeah. So we'd actually, me and Stephen, who I'm trying to. Actually, I don't even need to try anymore. Bro's converted. But yeah, me and Stephen were just went up and started speaking to John Jones, which is wild. You can imagine how Stephen was. I was sat there trying to play it cool, but Stephen did not at all. And
Stephen is Sean's younger brother.
Stephen, yeah. And I would just get chatting away to John Jones and stuff like that, and John Jones, his coach, and
Brandon Gibson.
And we'd ended up mentioning that we were going to go to Mass. He's also a Catholic as well. So he was like, oh, I'll come. So I was like, right, okay, cool. And I was like, it starts in 10 minutes, and it was like a 15-minute walk. So me, Brandon Gibson and Stephen all literally just started sprinting to this Mass. We ended up showing up a little bit late, and it was wild because you had to get like metal detectors and stuff like that. Like they were checking your bags and stuff, but it was wild. And me, Brandon Gibson and Stephen all just sat through this Mass for like 45 minutes or something like that, and it was phenomenal. It was really peaceful. It was really cool. It was a cool experience. He follows me on Instagram and stuff like that now, so I think we're mates.
So for me, that was quite a cool story. Like getting to meet
cool.
John Jones
That's
and then
super cool.
going to Mass with Brandon Gibson, and obviously you're a very
mad
religious,
experience, yeah, right.
a very religious person. We spoke about that last time in the podcast. So that was kind of a cool thing, wasn't it, to go to and the chapels in New York are incredible. Aren't
Oh, insane!
Some of the oldest ones are there.
It
I
was St
never knew
Patrick's
that.
Cathedral.
Aye.
It was.
Is that what
beautiful.
you went to?
they?
Yeah,
Which is across the road from the Rockefeller, isn't it?
yeah.
I seen it. Aye.
It's my
Absolutely.
saint's name.
Unreal. So
Saint's name,
I
St.
love
Patrick.
New York as well, but I never really got to appreciate it because I was just, see, whenever we go away, I'm always like, fucking hell, Pauls. I feel nervous for your, like, I'll go to this Cage Warrior show and I'll be nervous for the people I know who are fighting because I know how it feels and I know how much it means to you all, eh? And that takes the event away from me almost. See, like, I would love to go to New York and go to Madison Square Gardens and watch a UFC show as a complete fan and have a beer and and I just couldn't, I felt, and the whole trip there, I was like, just trying to walk about and enjoy it. Like, I like history and stuff like that. And I'm walking about and trying to enjoy the buildings and these old buildings and this ancient stuff. It's not ancient, but, and you're like, fucking hell. Right, back to the hotel now and we'll get ready for going up to MSG. And I'd love to go back to New York and enjoy it properly. So I'm glad you were able to go and see some of these. Well, I think that one's about 16 Sahane, that chap. Well, I'm not going to bore you with that, sorry.
Aye, walking out was probably, that's probably the coolest moment was the walkout. Whenever I get to walk out with you, it's a privilege. It's one of the coolest things I do.
Preparing you as well. It's all part of this preparation
Exactly.
process.
So
for
how
yourself
can I
down
sit
the
there and
road?
get nervous when I'm walking out to like 3,000 people compared to walking out to Madison Square Garden? It's insane. And how calm you were and stuff like that. I just felt so happy for you. You just looked like you were having fun. So yeah, that was probably the highlight for me. That one specifically. I love walking out. The song was
Standing
cool.
across the octagon to the president as well.
I know.
That's
that was
cool.
wild. That mate,
mad, eh?
it's a mad life, sir. It's a mad life.
But again, like for Paul, there was no, for you, all this is first times. Like there was no one in front of you. And it's brilliant that you're making the most of these opportunities and going, right, how do I see myself when I'm doing this? Because a lot of people, mate, if it was me, I'd just walk out and be like, whoa, like I wouldn't be able to soak all that in. And especially again, at your age, we keep going back to your age, you're taking this in, you're seeing yourself in the same position. You're saying, right, it's it's a bit nerve-wracking when I walk out in front of 3,000 people, but here we are at Madison Square Gardens, and imagining yourself, and I'm a big follower of visualization and stuff like that, and I do think visualizing yourself in these places leads to you being in these places. Like, you're making the most of it, and you're incorporating it into your own game, and it's only going to make things smoother. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to be a nice transition. And I know we shouldn't talk away ahead of this man you're fighting in April, but it just seems...
Don't think I am. He's literally all
I know
I'm
you're
thinking
not.
about.
It's me doing it.
It's probably unhealthy to the point. Like, it's wild. Every time I get an opponent, I literally just can't stop thinking about him. Like, I'll be I'll be shopping through Tesco and thinking about this boy. It's like sick.
Do you think he thinks about you?
Whether he does or doesn't, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Things I'm thinking of sixer.
Aye.
There's no malice. I don't dislike this man, but I know what I'm capable of, and I know what, when I fully let go, what I will do when I get in there. Because it's not something, I don't go in with malicious. I don't go in with anything. I just let go, and when I let go, I know what I do. So
why is it you're able to do that this one? Like,
I let go of all my fights. Every single time I let go of all of my fights, but there is a bit of a difference, like, as we were speaking about before. There is a difference, obviously. Now I'm not trying to force a stand-up exchange, so that's the only difference. I can be a bit more free. But as far as just, it's a different kind of, it's a wee bit different what I'm meaning now. It's like, there's no malice, there's no anything. Like, I just kind of go blank, and then as soon as I let go, it's almost like I wake up after it, and then I watch the video and I see what I do.
Like a professionalism, you're just going to work.
Yeah, because I like to kind of almost take myself away from it, because I'll just fuck it up. So, like, I train for a reason. I train for a reason. So to sit there and, like, 5 minutes out and try and decide what I'm going to do is just insane.
And that doesn't work, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. So again, there's nothing I'm necessarily... The only actually time I did try to do anything was when I was trying to knee that little midget's head off. The last time I ended up fighting him, I went for about 50 flying knees or something like that, and it's because I was trying to do it. Whereas when I didn't try to do it, I nearly knocked him out.
It comes off,
again, and he stopped swearing. But I ended up nearly knocking him out at some point. And it was when I just went, boom, and I just shut down. And it was when James says, right, you need to go for him here. So that was the first time that I've just had no regard for myself. And I was just like, right, offense, just full offense. Because I didn't, like, you know what it's like? It was like, I was winning the first 2 rounds, but like there was a couple of exchanges where I wasn't. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm winning or not until I watch the fight back. So I was just like, I'm going for this boy. And then I've just shut everything down, stopped trying to think about anything, and then I just went for him. And I've got a couple of wee things that I'm not going to necessarily have to force for this one, but there's a couple of things that keep going through my head that I think I'm going to get off this time.
Is this just through visualization? Visualizing these things happen?
I don't. I'm quite careful of visualization now, because again, that last time I was visualizing kneeing this guy in the head, and I got a bit horny for it.
You let it take over a wee bit.
I let it take over, yeah. But what I'm visualizing right now, I'm not really going to have to necessarily force. You will see.
Let it happen.
You will see if I get it off.
Do you feel you need you always need a finish?
Yes, 100%.
You're pretty dead certain on that. There wasn't even a second to think there. It's like, I need so you're wanting a finish for your own brand, should we say, for your own, like, listen, this is what I'm out here doing, or you feel as if Cage Warriors want to see you finish, you feel as if personally to be deserving of the title shot you need to finish. What is it's making you say, I'm getting this finish?
I've had decisions before and like, it just, like, the thought process, like, I've won decisions like decisively and I've smoked the boy, and then after it I'm like, well, what if it was to the death? Like, what, like, would they have maybe got up on top of me? Like, would I have kept going? I just don't like that uncertainty. I like to, like, the thought of somebody, like, maybe being able to beat me literally makes me feel physically sick. Like, I hate it. So it needs to be decisive. Every time, like, when I get a finish, it's cool. When I don't get a finish and it's left, it's literally just the opinions of 3 men that are sat right next to the cage. Like, and a lot of the time they get it wrong. So it doesn't necessarily, just because they think that you win that fight doesn't necessarily mean that you won that fight. So yeah, no, getting a finish is something that I hunt for constantly. And I don't really feel ashamed of saying that. I don't feel like there's any sort of, I feel like people are almost like, don't want to say that because they're like, oh, when I force it, I don't get it. I keep getting it, so I'm just going to keep doing it. I think forcing a finish is important. I think the whole point of a fight is that you're trying to kill this man. Like, we'll simulate killing this man. So I feel like you should be trying to do that. I don't feel like sitting there trying to coast and win the match is necessarily like sufficient.
I agree with you, and I think the reason we're seeing this, I don't even want to call it decision culture, but we are seeing guys leaning towards specifically trying to win decisions, not necessarily because they think their opponent's maybe better than them. It's because MMA is turning into more of a sport now. We're seeing more guys who are interested in it as a sport, as opposed to, like, say yourself, when you, like, everybody was finished, it was all finishes one way or another. When you first signed to the UFC, because these guys were just all brutes, mate. Like, they were just all bad guys, and this is really all they were good at. They were all Dan hookers who just wanted to go in there and hurt other people. And I think MMA's moved away from that a wee bit, and it's becoming more of a sport as it gets more mainstreaming on the TV. So I share your sentiment, and I'm glad you're like that, and I'm certain the fans will appreciate it for sure.
It's it's something I've always held in quite high regard. Maybe it's just something my dad's ingrained in me or something like that, but I think that's what would separate me. Like, I want to be the best, and I think that's something that would separate me from people like John Jones or George St. Pierre and stuff like that. A lot of these people are like, even like Khabib, like, the one thing that you can say about these people is that they weren't constantly finishing fights. So I feel like if I can constantly finish fights at the highest level, then I think that would separate me from them. So,
well, you're doing it at the level you're at now, which is the highest level.
And I'm only going to improve as well. So I hope to improve faster than the competition does. And
can we drag a prediction at you? Or are you not? Because you're not really that guy. You've never really been that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
I think I know how I'll finish them. I'll tell you after it, and then
I'll put my money on that.
Be correct, yeah. But I don't necessarily know the round, because this boy will be tough. This boy's going to be tough. Like, everyone, like, both the Brazilians I've fought were tough. The level I'm getting to now, everybody's going to be tough. It's just about me being smart enough to be able to drag a finish out of them. Which again, I think is what separates people, being able to actually, like, constantly make reads and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what round or anything like that, but I know I'll get it. I know I'll get it.
It's like you're having to hold it in almost, You're keen to, I suppose there is that, like, back up what you say. And I know you're that type of guy, so you are probably not wanting to be too vague. You're wanting to say, look, this is what I'm going to do, told you. Yeah. So I
think I know what we'll get, but it's not something that I'll force. I feel like if I put it out there, I'll try and force it. I do try and force a finish, but
the right way,
dependent on the person, is when I get it. If I sat there and just went, I'm going to knock him out first round, that would just be dumb. That would just be stupid, because it's not me. Some people are easier to finish in the third round than they are in the first. Some people are easier to finish in the first round than they are in the third. So it's just all dependent on how fast this guy comes out at me, like, kind of what his game plan is and stuff like that. So we'll take it as it comes. But I've got a feeling I know when it'll be. And
how quickly he realises the fight's getting away from him. Because as some people realise that, their will fades a bit. Sorry, Paul, were you going to jump in?
No, the thing I was going to lean into was your walkout is, like, I loved your walkout song, your walkout choice. And I actually thought about doing it, because I think I said to you about,
that'd have been cool.
I'm in two minds, just with the bagpipes and everything. I liked how you walked out and how calm you were. Same walkout. Have you got anything different planned for this walkout?
Well, I was trying to get something a wee bit cool. Planned, but we don't know, like, if we're going to be able to get it in time or anything like that. But we'll see. I was going to see if I could. I'll just say it, and then I'll decide if we can cut it like that. But I was going to see if we can get, like, bagpipes or, like, live bagpipes or something like that put out, which would be heavy cool.
That would be brilliant.
I just said that.
Just the pipes.
Literally, it'd be super cool.
Echoing through there.
And my auntie is connected to somebody who knows, like, Tom Walker, so she was going to see if she could get, Like, I don't know if he would do it. I don't think, we never know, but there's no point in not asking, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, like my dad and stuff, like literally everybody I know knows
Somebody.
Like Paulinatini, for example. Like I could maybe like sort him or something like that, but like you never actually know if they would do it, but there's no point in not asking. So I'll see if I can get something sorted a wee bit different, but then again I might not. If I don't, then I'm not going to be stressed.
It is a great walkout. It's very fan friendly. Yeah. Everybody likes it. I like it. I remember the first time seeing it and being like, fucking hell.
Yeah, it's goosebumpy. It's goosebumpy.
Like,
Very good.
like sitting there as a fan watching you walk out there, because I'm not in your corner and I'm like the emotion it brings, I'm like, I love it. And that's why I was like, I'd love to walk out to New York and that.
100%.
But it's yours. It's yours.
I appreciate you leaving it to me, but it would have been super cool if you walked out to that and thingy. But I did also really like your entrance last time, so your entrance tune was really cool.
So, Jimmy,
I see, like, it just seemed to suit what you were looking for. If you get what I mean. And the fact that you were actually able to achieve that, what you've been looking to achieve for so long, in like the highest stakes of your career so far, was really impressive. Don't know if Andy's said that yet, but I thought it was really cool.
No, they haven't, but I appreciate it coming from you. So
good way to work
I know
it.
it's great. So potentially something cool for a walkout. Tickets are still available.
Tickets are available.
We'll put a link in the bio.
Thank you
And then what I'm wanting to know now is numbers, because I've seen you develop numbers in your athletic endeavours.
Yeah.
They're definitely no dropping.
No, they're no dropping. They're going up. I feel like we did a what's it called, like a testing at the start of this camp, and literally how strong I feel compared to the start of this camp is like insane. Like I've not had such an increase like this. And again, I think it's down to the fact that I'm not injured anymore and I'm not run down anymore. I'm not like having to worry about sleep and stuff like that. There's all these different factors, and literally like the weights I was using at the start of this camp literally feel like paperweights now. Like I can throw them about. It's wild. This is the biggest increase in strength and explosiveness I've felt in any training camp thus far. In my conditioning as well, I'm literally pushing that harder than I've ever pushed it. So yeah, we'll be in for something special.
I know. So as I said, I have been watching. I've felt it myself. And I've noticed a massive increase, and I was just wanting to know, like, numbers wise, is there an increase? Because I can feel it, and I can just feel like your engine is able to go and put me into really, really deep water, as well as use your strength and your athleticism. So for them dudes out there, and they're going to see something spectacular. And not only that, you're going to see Sean Clancy in your hometown before he goes to the UFC and he's fighting all around the world, because it's very. You're not going to get a chance to see you in the UFC in Glasgow for a long time. So I think this is a great opportunity 100%. To come in.
There's a very few number of times left that I'm going to fight in Glasgow. Like I've probably done half of them now. Do you know what I'm saying?
This could even potentially be it.
It could be. I think I'll eventually bring UFC to Glasgow again. I will.
I mean, with Cage Warriors, sorry.
I just mean in general. There's going to be a very few number of times that I'm going to. Like I've probably experienced half the amount of times that I'm going to fight in Glasgow ever after this one. We're probably past the halfway point as far as the amount of times I'll fight in Glasgow. So yeah, this will be special. This will be the last time I probably fight in Glasgow in Cage Warriors.
Because you have to go to the title holder, don't you? So
exactly,
and then once you win that, like again, UFC is such a, what's the right word I'm looking for? But anything can really happen. You know, you can get like. You got called up for a Cage Warriors fight on a week's notice. That can absolutely happen in the UFC because of how closely Cage Warriors works with the UFC. It could be a week. By the way, you're making a debut in a week, and you're not going to say no because you're always ready. It wouldn't be a matter of like, oh no, I need X amount of weeks. You're always pretty much you're good to go. But
when is it they film the Dana White's Contender Series?
Every Tuesday.
No.
Oh no, there's a season for it though. Eh?
It's a season. It's normally.
I'm sure it's like the second half of the year, maybe around August, September time.
So that kind of works well if that's like ultimately in your goal. Everybody knows that Cage Warrior is a stepping stone to the UFC. Within the next 6 months, we're going to see massive waves for you. Hopefully it's gold, because it always stands you in good stead when you go to the UFC if you've had a belt from the promotion like Cage Warriors. So who knows, man? This could potentially be the handful of times before handful of times fighting in UK soil before you have to go into America. And the same again as Ross is saying, you've got the whole package. You've got the skill, and you've got the demeanour to put yourself across as a likeable character.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
But also being able to be one mean motherfucker, eh?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's like, you are the guy that with a young child at home, you are that normal guy, but then can step outside of that and do this. And I think that's essentially. Are you seeing people? Are people coming up? Are you getting spotted in public now?
Yeah, it's
how do you find it?
It's wild. It's like, it's cool. It's very, I really do like it until we go to like something like the PFL or something like that. Like that was insane. Like I started getting a wee bit flustered that time, or like after my fights or something like that. Literally, I ended up taking like close to 100 photos, and it was like,
I saw you at the end,
was
in the last one.
I'm not gonna lie, it was freaking me out a wee bit. It was freaking me out a wee bit.
I was sitting up in the stands. I saw you come out. You had your rehydration drink, I think it was, and I was like, I'm going to go down and give Sean a wee, and it was. And I was like, I'm going to give him a minute.
It was mad. It was a wee bit overwhelming, to be honest. That's something I'm going to need to do get used to.
But I use this one all the time. There's going to be a point where no one knows who you are. So you might as well get it, take these pictures and enjoy the moment rather than missing it and being like, when I'm in my 50s and like, nobody knows who I am.
I used to do that. That's you on the CD guys in the telly. That used to be me. I know. It's good though.
Yeah, it's cool though. Like whenever, like locally and stuff like that, like, I remember these guys that were running up to, well, not running up to me personally, but they were running past me and they were like, "Hey mate, you got a lighter?" I was like, "Nah mate," and sorry. And then he was like, "That's that mad cage fighter guy," and I was like, it was just weird because I was like, I fucking don't know who you are. Like, how do you know who I am?
Good though, it's earned, mate, and it's geese hope to cunts. Geese hope to guys.
It's cool. That is really cool. I'm going to see if I can. There's a couple of places nearby me and stuff like that. I'm going to see if I can like sort buses to the venue and stuff like that. Would be pretty cool. Just increases the kind of the fan base and stuff like that, the sense of community and stuff. So I'll try and do that.
Do you get any downtime? You get time to yourself now, or when you do, what do you do? You just
it's
chilling out in the house.
Yeah. It's, you know what it's like. Obviously, like when you go home, you need to like, you've got hundreds of things to do and stuff like that. So you never get to like really sit and chill until the baby's in bed, and then you've only really got like however long, because I need to get good sleep because then the baby's back up at whatever time.
Probably knackered.
Yeah. So We'll try and go to the park and stuff like that with the baby and stuff. Like, I'll, to be honest, I just spend most of my time with the missus and the baby. Every now and then I'll meet up with my mates and stuff like that, which is good for me. I really enjoy that too. But most of the time, I'd say it's probably just me spent either doing chores or hanging out with the baby and the missus.
Right, that sounds like my life too.
yeah.
No, good.
But I love it. I enjoy it. I seen Jordan Peterson talking about this thing once, and it was your life's made, I can't remember exactly what it was, but your life is made up of like 90% of your life is made up of these small moments that you have to do every day. If you get these right, then you're going to live a happy life. So I try and enjoy them. I never it was hard to when I was tired and obviously a young boy, not really recognising that I'm going to miss these moments one day, but I try my very best to sit and enjoy.
Me and Paul are going through this, and it's heartbreaking for us both.
So I'm trying to enjoy it now, because I recognise that one day it will be gone. Yeah.
Any merchandise?
Yeah, I've got some merchandise. I've actually not plugged it in a wee while. I've not spoke about it in a wee while, but I've got some stuff on the Fanboy website. Let me see if I can get a couple of people and stuff. Yeah.
Yep, would seem again, we'll put that link in there as well.
That,
anything planned for your walkout kit? Because you work with a few different companies, don't you, who design you different...
Militar's sorting me a kit out this time. It'll be pretty cool. I'm going to get a wee Burberry set made up. A wee Burberry set.
Lovely.
I think it's fitting. Fucking main event in Glasgow and that. You need to wear Burberry. Aye, so it'll look cool. It'll look so... Aye, too right. It'll look cool. Get the sponsor kit, stuff like that made up. I spent a wee bit of time trying to help like design it and stuff like that, so hopefully it turns out well.
Oh, you've had some input on it?
Nice. I didn't want to like just leave it completely up to somebody else. Like I had kind of an idea as to what I wanted it to look like, and he sent me it without like telling me that he was going to make it. I never even told him to make it, and he sent me it. I just gave him the idea, and I was like, it looks cool, but I need it like tweaked, and we've both tweaked it quite a lot, and I think it looks how I imagined it to look anyway.
Excellent.
So it was cool, I think.
Good. Any sponsors? Any sponsors you want to push?
Got hundreds of sponsors, man. Like, again, my life would not be what it is without these guys. Is it okay? Because I'm terrible. I'm honestly terrible for like forgetting people. I've got some new sponsors and stuff like that, and some old sponsors that I don't really work with anymore. Is it alright if I send you like a graphic?
Most certainly, it's
Absolutely.
something we'll fire up.
Perfect.
And they're all going to be on your
They're all going
your
to be on
banner
my
at
fake kit,
Cage Warriors as well. And I think Leathered, the podcast, is going to
Yep.
sponsor you as well. So we're definitely going to be involved in this.
Last chance before Sean Clancy's too big.
I know.
That's it. If you want to get in it
You don't get sponsorship off Sean Clancy because of UFC.
100%.
Listen, I really appreciate your time, Sean.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
Aye, and if you are looking to go to Cage Warriors, it's literally 4 weeks away. You're going to see Sean Clancy headlining. You're going to see some other Scottish talent showcasing their skills there. Guys like Keir. Who else is on it? We've got Chris Bongard. We've got Chris Morris, who's just signed for them as well. Ryan Campbell. So there's a whole host of guys from Scotland who are going to be in this Scottish card. The guy you want to come and see is Sean Clancy. It's going to be a very, very small window to see this guy in your hometown. So hit the link in the bio, and as always, keep it high.
Thank you, Sean.